Hello and welcome to my video today, and thanks for joining us here. So today we're going to be going through something you guys have requested, something I've sort of sprinkled a little bit of light on over the last few weeks, about a Google Apps script that I'm using to multi-schedule posts into different classrooms within Google Classroom. So at the moment, as most of you will know, you can only schedule assignments to one class at a time, but this app script my good friend Gavin Hannell wrote for us will get us around this in most cases. There's a few limitations which we'll go through when we get to it, but it is worth noting there is a few limitations on there. And I'm going to drop a link to Gavin's Twitter below, so make sure you go and follow him. He's amazing, really clever guy who's wrote the script for us today. So all credit to him. I'm just showing you how it works. So without further ado, let's get started. So it is worth noting here that IT admins would have to do this in the first instance for your school domain or district domain, and then teachers can use it from that point. So just worth noting that there. So as you can see here at the moment, I'm in one of my Google Classrooms and I have a post that's scheduled for the 9th of July. So it's scheduled for next Thursday because it's Saturday here in the UK at the moment. So I've scheduled it for next Thursday. I want this work to become live to my students next Thursday. Now, at the moment, I would have to go into each classroom I have and reuse a post and set the scheduled time again, which isn't a problem. But if you've got lots of different classrooms, say, for example, on my school domain, I have 14 classrooms that I need to post this work to. And that's going to take a little bit of time. So, as I say, there's an app script set up now for us to use. And I'm going to drop the link to the setup of that app script below. So let's open that up and have a look at what that looks like to start with. So as I say, I'll give you this app script link in the comments below, so you'll have access to this app script. And this is what would need to go to your IT admins. So there is some instructions here telling you what you need to do. So the first thing is make a copy of the file and then deploy it as a web app. So that's what we're going to do as the first two things. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to go to Make a Copy, which will open up a new tab for us and have our own copy of that schedule. Now it's going to ask us to publish and then deploy it as a web app. So we'll go to the Publish menu here and deploy it as web app. So this will take just a few minutes to run. It will go through, the access levels it needs to go on to post on Google Classroom. And this will then give us a new pop-up in just a few seconds, asking us which users we'd like to give access to when using the script, like this. So you can see it gives you a web app URL, which we'll go through in a minute. I'll leave this project version as it is here. This is just if you're going to update it, you can label it as version 1, version 2, and the changes that's happened. Here you have who has access to execute the app. So user access in the web app, that's as standard. I'd leave it as that. And then it says who has access to the app. So I'm in my training domain at the moment, which is labeled as training with BM. But you can set it so only yourself can run it, or anyone within your domain, or anybody. So it defaults to your domain, so I'd keep it as that. And then it will ask you to run. In this case, I've already set it up on my domain, so I'm just going to say to update. So once this is updated or run, you'll get this current web app URL, which you're going to copy. And then you're going to open up in a new tab. Now, this is the link you'd give to your teaching staff. And this is what I'd say to bookmark as well. So it's going to ask you to review permissions. This is going to ask for every teacher to do this, just to make sure they're happy. But as I say, I've already set this up, so it's just going to ask me to sign in and review the permissions because I've run a new version of the script. So it's going to say it wants to see, create and edit topics in Classroom, view and manage announcements, manage coursework and grades, manage coursework and view grades in Google Classroom, view coursework and marks for students, view coursework and grades, view email addresses, profile pictures, class rosters, and manage classroom classes. So this should be covered all by your IT policy anyway, but I'm just going to click allow on this. And this is from an admin point of view. But then you'll be given this screen, and this is the screen I'd tell you get all your teachers to bookmark. So I'll just get them to bookmark it, which will give you this little scripts icon here. And this is the screen that all your teachers would be using to schedule in Google Classroom. So I'm just going to get rid of these other tabs for just a minute here. And now we've got some instructions and some limitations. So take your time to read through those. As I say, the instructions is fairly simple. It just says you must have a scheduled post in one classroom to start with in order for the script to work. Any scheduled assignments will show, select the ones you want to repost, and then to which classrooms you want them to go to. So fairly straightforward, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. But there is some limitations as well, and it is worth noting. So this has been updated quite a lot during our COVID period, and I'm sure it will continue to be updated by Gavin. So, keep checking these limitations, see if they have updated. But it says here, the limitations, you can't repost material type coursework in Google Classroom, so it will only post the other four different types of coursework that you can post. It can't repost scheduled announcements on the stream, but I don't really see that as much of an issue personally, but it is worth noting. You can't repost scheduled assignments containing Google Forms. Well, you can do that. I have done it, but if you're using it as a self-marking quiz, the import grades button will not appear. So that's the sort of downside to reposting with Google Forms attached. So that's probably the biggest downfall I've found. I posted out to 14 classrooms, and then only one of them I was able to import the grades, and the other 13 I had to do manually. So learn from your mistakes, learn from my mistakes even. And make sure you don't do that yourselves. If you're going to have Google Forms, it's worth just reposting to every classroom in the same way that we used to. And assignment settings related to rubrics or originality reports are not transferred either, which again might cause a bit of a problem. But Gavin's been working really hard on updating this over time, so I'm sure this is only something as a matter of time will come into play. So I'm just going to show you the classroom so you can see. I have 2 assignments here scheduled in today's work, and this is my Training with BM classroom. So you can see I've got 2 scheduled for the 9th of July, and I'm just going to go into the other 2 and just show you they're not there. So I'm going to go to classwork in this one. So I've got 2 Musica Chinas here. I'm just going to delete those because that was from a previous tutorial. And I'm going to show you that it's going to schedule into this one as well as the Google Classroom, the basics classroom that I have set up for a demo with GEG South Carolina. So I'm going to go to classwork again, and you're going to see I haven't even got the today's work topic in there. So we're just going to see how powerful this is. So we're going to go back to that script. Now it's going to ask me to select the starter classroom. So this will be the classroom that you've already got the work scheduled in. So for me, it'll be Training with BM. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to search that classroom for all scheduled assignments, and it will give me the scheduled time as well. So I can select one or all of these. So you can have, if you've planned your work for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you can schedule all of them if you want to at the same time by clicking these select boxes. So I'm going to select both of my assignments here. And then I'm going to select the classes I want it to go to. So I have access to 3 here. I'm just going to get rid of my bottom bar. I'm not sure why that's in the way. So it's already in Training with BM, but I want to put it into these classrooms. So bearing in mind, this is just a demo account, so I don't have many Google Classrooms, but you can schedule, let's say, I schedule up to about 14 or 15 classrooms, so you can see how powerful this is going to be. So I'll select those 2 classrooms, which will appear here, and then I can click this copy button. So this will run the script. It will take a short minute or 2 to run the script fully, but we'll go back into the classrooms and see they've been copied across into those Google Classrooms as well. And the best bit is, again, you can go in and edit those for each individual classroom if you want to, and it doesn't affect the original post. So as you can see, that's now run. It's now finished. So if I go to my Training with BM account here, you can see I've still got these 2 work assignments here scheduled for the 9th of July. And if I go to my Google Classroom, the basics now, it's copied the topic, it copied both assignments and the due date, the scheduled dates as well. If we go into each of those, it also pulls through the due date, the points value as well, all my instructions and all the attachments. So you can just see how much easier that's going to make it when we come to setting our work for our students. So that's just one of the classrooms, and I'll show you it's pulled into the other one as well. And there we go. In training with BM term 2, we've now got both of those again. And the same thing. You can go in, you can see your due dates, your topics, points values, the scheduled time. You can change all of those individually if you want to as well. So I hope this has been really useful for you guys. If it has, please do share it around. If you've got any questions, reach out to me on Twitter at trainingwithbm, and hopefully I can help you answer any of those questions and go through individually with you if needed. As usual, subscribe to my channel to make sure you get the latest notifications of my videos. Turn on those notifications as well, the little bell icon underneath this video. It really helped me if you could share this around with your colleagues, friends, anyone that would find it useful. But in the meantime, let me know what you want to see in our next video. Stay safe and take care. See you later on.